Hello, and welcome back to another edition of All or Not According to Jack with your host, Jack Toledano. And my guest in the co-captain's chair today is Mr. Davey Cretin. How you doing, Davey?
I'm good, Jack. Thanks. Thank you for having me back.
Sure, my pleasure. And I just want to say congratulations to achieving 1,000 views, over 1,000 views on your first video in Cretin's Classics.
Thank you. Yeah, Cretin Classics. I did a review on the new Blue Oyster Cult album, and it has over 1,400 views. And I'm such a new small channel. I only started 5 months ago. I'm ecstatic about it. I'm very happy. So thank you.
Yes, no, that's it's awesome. I remember the first when I hit 1K for the first time. It was totally unexpected. It was
Yep.
basically I reviewed a Jethro Tull album. It wasn't even this one. It was the prior album, the
The
second one.
Zealot Gene, right?
I'm so yes, the Zealot Gene.
Zealot
Yes,
Gene.
and it was actually kind of a mixed review, but now it's at like 1.9K, so I was ecstatic. I was just over the moon at that time. That little old me, other than the few people that knew me from Sea of Tranquility, I achieved that. So
Well,
it's a good,
certain bands just have a good pull if you
yeah,
do
yeah.
reviews on their albums or songs.
Well, yeah, another one that I got without any guests was a review of Saxon, a band who I'm going to see next week. I can't wait,
Nice.
but yeah,
Who are they playing with?
Uriah Heep.
Oh, that's going to
Gonna
be a
go
fun
see them
show.
out in Patchogue. I can't wait. It's freaking gonna be great. Looking
Excellent.
forward to it. So anyway, so the reason Davey and I got together today is to do a dream set list of, wait for it, Led Zeppelin. So yeah, I know you're a fan of Zebra, and they covered a lot of Zeppelin over the years, and I figured you'd be the right person to ask to do this. Uh,
Thank you. And Heart. Heart's covered a ton of Led Zeppelin.
yes, yes. The one time my wife and I went to a Jones Beach concert together, we saw Heart with Journey, and they covered what is it? Going to California, I believe, and it sounded great. Yeah. I know they played rock and roll on stage many times.
And the ocean, like
Yep,
Zebra.
yep. And now my dog is paying us a visit. She's too funny.
Can
Okay.
you show her on camera or she's too big?
Yeah, I could try to show her on camera. I would have to. Let's turn it off. Um, Miley, come here, girl. Come say hello. Let me just lift her up a little. Ah, there she is. There's the
Hi,
Miley girl.
Miley. Oh, she's a big girl.
Oh yeah, 70 pounds worth.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful girl.
Everyone loves dogs. So
Except when I'm trying to work and she wants to go in and out 5 or 6 times a day. That's when it comes a little bit of a nuisance. But what are you gonna do? She's not us. I'm just gonna shut my door.
okay.
All right.
Jack's back.
Okay, so we're gonna talk. We're gonna do a dream set list of Led Zeppelin, and Davey's gonna go first, and then I'm going to go afterwards, and we'll see how it goes from there. This was one of the ones I was really looking forward to.
Me
So,
too.
so the microphone is yours, Davey. Go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Jack. Okay. My dream set list takes place. Well, before I get into that, I have two sets of 10 songs each with some unusual surprises.
Okay.
Here we go. Picture the year 1985. John Bonham was still alive and had cleaned up his act. Same thing for Jimmy Page. They each fixed their problems, their troubles, and they were back in the studio together working on a brand new Led Zeppelin album. So after a 6-year hiatus, Zeppelin were almost back. Sure, Plant had released Pictures at 11 in 1982, but all was very quiet on the Led Zeppelin front because the band were crafting their first new album since 1979. Tired of the sterility of the recording studio, they decided to get their live sea legs back by booking a very short tour. Instead of playing stadiums this time, because they had done that all throughout the 70s, basically, and with the new album not quite ready, they wanted to downsize things a bit. But yet, as the mighty Led Zeppelin, they had to make a big splash. So the first stop on this mini tour, of course, New York City. The venue? No, not Madison Square Garden, which holds close to 20,000. They wanted to downsize a little, and they decided to play the prestigious Radio City Music Hall instead, which holds about 6,000 people. And so it begins. And by the way, this is mainly a deep cuts concert set list. So set number 1, containing 10 songs, they wanted to come out and hit the audience with something fast, hard, and pummeling. Communication Breakdown from the first Led Zeppelin album. And another thing, this set list covers at least one song from every album of their 8 studio albums, the 8 official studio albums from Led Zeppelin 1 through In Through the Outdoor, nothing from Coda. Second track, another hard-hitting song, very deep track from Presence, For Your Life.
Okay.
And then after 2 hard-hitting songs, they slow things down a little with the big blues number of the set, the Lemon Song from Led Zeppelin 2.
Nice. I love the Lemon song.
Excellent song. Now, coming in at the 4th track of set number 1, Plant had released his first solo album, Pictures at 11, 3 years before in 1982. So they break into Slow Dancer. Led Zeppelin playing a Robert Plant song. So instead of the great drumming that you got on Pictures at 11 from Phil Collins and everyone's favorite Cozy F. and Powell, you get John Bonham playing Slow Dancer. And that groove and Bonham on that groove, amazing. So the audience is floored that Led Zeppelin are playing a Robert Plant song. So after that, they settle down and they break out their acoustic instruments for a short acoustic set, just like they did on the Physical Graffiti tour. And by the way, this is 1985. So it's the 10-year anniversary of Physical Graffiti. So that will come into play later. Track number 5 in the acoustic, well, it's the acoustic set. They break out from Led Zeppelin 3, the dreamy That's the Way.
Ah.
And then after That's the Way, they go into Tangerine from Led Zeppelin 3.
Oh, nice.
And then John Paul Jones switches from his acoustic instrument to keyboards. And he goes into a whole organ intro, which turns track number 7 into Your Time Is Gonna Come from the first Led Zeppelin album, another deep track. And then they need to bring the rock back. So they go into Out on the Tiles.
Nice.
Excellent hard rock. Yep, that's the one. And because this is the 80s, track number 9 in the first set is way more streamlined. They realize that things have changed. This is not the mid-70s anymore. They can't do 20 or 30 minutes of one song. They lose the audience. This is the MTV generation.
Yes.
So instead of doing all these expanded version of songs, they're making it more to fit the album version, maybe adding 30 seconds, a minute or two here and there. So instead of a 30-minute Dazed and Confused, which is one of the not deep tracks on my list, they do about a 7 or 8 minute version of Dazed and Confused.
Cool. Yep.
So that's track
before we started, we talked about that, how as a child, a friend of mine lent me the album Song Remains the Same, and I listened to it, and I'm like, I would say about midway through Dazed and Confused, I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? Little did I know he was doing a solo with that violin or string bass bow, but
Yep.
I was bored to tears. Pulled the needle up off midway through.
See,
So,
there are a lot of people that don't like the long, jammy versions of songs, and
yeah,
especially in the mid '80s. That's why this Dream set list has
yeah,
the more compact version of the songs.
yep,
And closing out set number one, they do a long song, but originally it was a long song on the vinyl. The one song on here from In Through the Outdoor, they do Carouselambra, the epic,
nice.
the progressive rock epic.
All
So
right,
Jones gets behind the keyboards again for that song, and they end set number one with an 11, 12-minute version of Carouselambra. So
nice.
that's set, and thank you. That's set number one. It clocks in at about an hour or so.
See, at least the 11 minutes of Carouselambra, that is the song. They didn't stretch it. Like
Right.
in a few weeks, I'm going to do Deep Purple, and there's a song that they butcher also, from 5 minutes to 25 minutes, and which
and and Rainbow do it on their live album on stage. It's like
yeah,
6 songs over 4 sides of vinyl.
right, yeah,
It's just a little too much jamming.
excess, yeah,
So this is the more streamlined version. And then Led Zeppelin take a short break. They come back for set number two. And as I said before, the 10th anniversary of Physical Graffiti, they start out set number two with the mini prog epic In the Light, with John Paul Jones back behind his keyboard rig. And it's just the four guys, no extra musicians. They're keeping Led Zeppelin. They're not pulling a Pink Floyd where they get 7 or 8 extra members. So at
right,
this point, it's still the four guys on stage. They go into In the Light, and then they break out the hard rock again, going right into Custard Pie from Physical
nice,
Graffiti, with still Jones is behind his keyboards. And then they go into Trampled Underfoot with John Paul Jones still on the keyboards, a clavinet, I think, on that song.
right,
And then they go back a couple of albums, Houses of the Holy, with John Paul Jones still at his keyboards for Dancing Days. Another
nice,
excellent song.
yep. I've always been mixed on that album, but I do like Dancing Days, yes, and
See, in Physical, that's my favorite
yeah,
album.
just so everybody knows, I got to get this out there. So you see, Houses the Holy above my head. Last September, I took a dream trip with my family to Ireland, and we actually went to that place. It's called Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland, near Belfast, and it was such an incredible place. So, and I do have video of it, so check it out.
I was just going to say that it's on your channel, Jack.
Yes, it is.
A lot of cool videos, and just the lush greenery there was amazing.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I mean,
And
it
even in the
was.
rain, the video you took in the rain, that still looked good.
Yeah, right. Yes, and I just beat the rain that day for Giant's Causeway because those rocks are dangerous if it's raining. They
Slippery
actually
when wet,
they
yeah.
actually will keep people off there when it really comes down. So George and I just got off there in time,
Yeah, you
which
got
was
lucky.
nice. Yeah, yeah. So sorry I interrupted.
No, it's
Continue.
okay. It's germane to the video. It's Led
Yep.
Zeppelin in Ireland, so well, where they filmed it, the
Yeah.
cover. So after Dancing Days, they take it down a little, go back to the first album for a slightly acoustic version of Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, but it's the full 7-minute
I love that
overblown
song.
song. Yeah, it's a
That's
great song.
another great song I love. Yes.
And after that, they go back to Physical Graffiti, to my very favorite Led Zeppelin song. I had to put it in the set, 10 Years Gone.
Nice. Another
I
great
just
song. Yes.
I just love
Awesome.
Page's guitar playing on that song.
Yeah.
Just
It's
the
so,
acoustic, the electric, the light and the shade. And to me, that would be the concert
yeah.
highlight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And like you, I didn't get to see Led Zeppelin when I was a kid. I was too young to go to concerts back then. And by the time I started going to concerts, they had broken up, unfortunately. So I never saw Zeppelin. I've seen Plant, I've seen Page, but I never saw Led Zeppelin. So that's why this is my dream set list.
Okay.
After 10 Years Gone, they go to a really deep track. They go to Night Flight from
Okay.
Physical Graffiti.
Yep. Side four, yep.
And then, speaking of four, the one track from Led Zeppelin 4, because it's so hard to pull a deep track from Led Zeppelin 4, they go into Misty Mountain Hop.
I love Misty Mountain Hop. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have a
That's why I
funny
chose
story
it.
about Misty Mountain Hop afterwards, after you're done.
Okay, I'm almost done. I just got a couple more
Okay.
songs left. So track number 9, the ninth song they do in the second set, they got to end the show with a bang. So from again side 4 of Physical Graffiti, because it's 1985, it's celebrating its 10-year anniversary. They break out Sick Again to end the show, and the
Okay.
crowd's going
Wow.
crazy. They want more. They want more Led Zeppelin. It's been 2 hours already, even with a short intermission. It's been over 2 hours, but they want more. So the band come out and they do a brand new song from the forthcoming album that no one's ever heard before. And that's
Interesting.
the end of my dream set list.
Okay. So a no name untitled song, in other words. Okay.
Exactly. A no name untitled song. It's a 7-minute hard rocking song from
Right.
the ninth studio Led Zeppelin album.
No stairway. Denied.
Exactly. I try to keep it as deep as I could, which is almost
Oh, that
impossible with Zeppelin
that
because
is deep.
back in,
Yeah.
in, in the 70s and 80s, they played so many Zeppelin songs on the radio.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So before I get into my set, you mentioned a couple songs that kind of reminded me of a story, and we were talking before we signed on about whether we go with a script or we have notes or we memorize things. Sometimes what I do is this is just totally ad lib based on the songs you brought up. So back in when I was in ninth grade in middle school, yes, middle school back then was 7 to 9, not 6 to 8. I had this teacher. I was in chorus in sixth and seventh grade, but then I went back to general music, or in ninth grade it was pop and rock. With a guy named Mr. Cherry of all things. Yeah, this guy was a real goofball. He kind of looked like Larry Fine with dark hair, if you could picture that. But you mentioned the song "Your Time Is Gonna Come."
Yes.
He made the bold statement that they plagiarized that song from the Rolling Stones song "You Can't Always Get What You Want."
Hmm.
In his opinion, he said that by them, instead of the chorus, they used John Paul Jones organ in the beginning. But he said it was a total ripoff of the Stones. But so obviously he had a hard on for Led Zeppelin. And then one day there was a substitute teacher, we were going to listen to Led Zeppelin 4 that day. So what does she do? And I don't think there was really enough time in a period to listen to a whole album, so they would play an album side. So what does she do? She puts on side two. This older lady who didn't know anything just puts on side two, and we're like, "What are you putting side two on for? That's like taboo." But basically everybody just wanted to hear from Black Dog to Stairway to Heaven. But it
Yep.
was years later that I grew to really appreciate side two, and I absolutely love I love all of side two, but Misty Mountain Hop. Once I heard it on the radio, I'm like, this is really cool. So I put on side two all the way through, and I loved it. Every song, and you're going to see some songs in my set list from side two, set four, but we'll get to that. So, without further ado, now that I've rambled, I'm
Ramble
gonna.
on.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, it's funny. That's actually one of the songs I'm not that high on, believe it or not. But they got so many great ones. You can't
Too
include
many.
everything. But basically, so what I do, um, they put their first album out in '69, I believe, right?
Correct.
So '79 was their 10th. They had just released Into the Outdoor, so this was their 10th anniversary. No, in my fantasy, no thought of any alcohol problems with John Bonham, and he's going to live a good long life. We would hope. So uh, Earlier today, I read about the making of the song remains the same. So there, of course, there were some trials and tribulations. So they hired this producer who I guess lived near Jimmy Page's one house, and he said he would do the video for it. Uh, what ended up, without going into too much detail, there were problems, and there were holes in the video, so they had to do some post production to show them up close, and kind of like Judas Priest, doctoring up Unleashed in the East in the studio, or Kiss doctoring up Alive in the studio. They
Hmm.
doctored up Song Remains the Same, the movie, in the studio. And, years later, I'm just quoting, Robert Plant denounced it as a load of bullocks. Uh, um, John Paul Jones later admitting that the film was a massive compromise. So he was being kind, but I liked Plant calling it bullocks. So my
Well,
idea,
most bands in the '70s, they doctored their live albums.
yeah,
They wanted to
right,
make them sound better.
yeah, yeah. So I can't blame them for that. You want to put your best foot forward.
Exactly.
It's like having a souvenir of a concert. Just like I talked about with my buddies John Clauser and John the Music Nut the other night, when we were talking about Judas Priest. So,
Nice.
but
And I will be doing a show with them. I was invited.
I
I was
heard
accepted.
that is so awesome.
I'm
Yes,
psyched because I love that series they do.
yep. I won't say which album, but you know what? It will be on soon, so stay tuned, folks.
Yep.
But anyway, so back to my idea is to take the song remains the same, and because it was basically panned, uh, and basically redo it as a 10-year anniversary concert, but again to be held over 2 days at Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
Basically, using Iced Earth's idea of so Iced Earth is a metal band that I like, and they played a concert in Greece, and they played it 2 nights with two completely different set lists, with the purpose of coming out with a live album. So Zeppelin did something very similar to that. 2 nights at Madison Square Garden, and so I'm going to give set one is the first night, set two is the second night.
Okay.
So similar to what I did with my buddy Aaron Kupperberg and the Rush video, I'm going to give you the first 5 songs, and then I'm going to then I'm going to show you my Spotify, so we can follow through the rest of the way.
Okay.
Okay, so night one, 18 songs. I mean, I've got a mixture of deep tracks and some classic tracks. So song number one, I start off right away with Rock and Roll, Zeppelin 4. I know that's a Pete Pardo nightmare because he hates that song, but I
It's a
like it.
great song. It's just a
Yes.
little overplayed.
Song number two, a song that I don't think they played in a long time, Good Times, Bad Times. Uh, Song number three, we were just talking about the movie. Song remains the same, off of Houses of the Holy. Number four, a song that I don't think they've played for a long time, if ever, off of Zep 2. What Is and What Should Never Be. Song
Good
that I
one.
love. Yeah. Uh, then they go to In Through the Outdoor for a couple of songs. Uh, in the Evening, and then Southbound Soiree. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share. Okay.
Nice.
There we go. I had to fix that. Only you were showing. Okay, so Southbound Soiree, number 7, Houses of off of Houses of the Holy, Over the Hills and Far Away. Number 8, Since I've Been Loving You, off of Zep 3, a song that I absolutely love. Very
It's a good
bluesy.
song. Yeah.
What's that?
It's a great blues song. Yes,
Oh
correct.
yeah, I love it. That's a song. So Zeppelin 3, like Pete, that's an album that grew on me over the years. I didn't used to like it when I was a kid, but it really grew on me, especially since I've been loving you. Number 9, Nobody's Fault But Mine off of Presence. 10, Heartbreaker and Living Loving Maid.
Like on the radio, just like back
Yep,
in the.
yep, gotta have them together. Number 12, a song that you mentioned, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. Love it, absolutely love it. Okay, 13, Trampled Underfoot. You mentioned that one as well. 14, No Quarter. Love that fuzz bass and that piano that sounds like it's underwater.
Yep, it's a great song.
Yep. Okay, 15, When the Levee Breaks. I love that drumming. It sounds like he's drumming in the Holland Tunnel or something, and you're just on the outside hearing that echo. It's yeah, beautiful. I love his drumming on side 2 of Zep 4. You know, 4 Sticks and When the Levee Breaks. 16, Bring It On Home. That's the song that I always, in my wildest dreams, that if I were a professional wrestler, that would be my entrance music coming down to the ring.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, 17, Dazed and Confused. Just a normal 6-minute version like you see here. And then number 18, they closed the first night with Whole Lot of Love.
Okay.
All right. Now, before I go to the second set, notice the date here. It's July 1st, 2021. So Pete had done the Dream set list only a few months earlier, and I had still had Dream set list on my brain. I'm thinking, even without thinking of bringing this series or mini series back, I figured, why don't I make a few dream set lists for myself on Spotify? Because I had just bought the property upstate and I was doing a lot of trips back and forth. And why not have some really good, worthwhile uh, playlists to drive upstate to? Because it's a 4 hour ride. So
It's far.
yeah, yes. So you got to have good tunes.
Yeah, you got to have your favorite songs with you
Yep.
to
So
rock
that
out to as you're driving.
yeah. So that being said, we're going to start night 2 of the second set, and it's a song that you mentioned, Communication Breakdown. I just, yeah, I'm going to give you a little snippet here. I just love that. Love that. Very cool. All right. So next, Misty Mountain Hop, song we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Da, da. You know what? Let's I just love that opening keyboards. That makes the whole song for me. Yeah. Okay, so next, Immigrant Song, a song that they licensed out to the Jack Black movie, School of Rock, something that they rarely did. Okay,
Correct.
Friends, the song immediately after Immigrant Song, a song that they probably didn't rarely, if ever, played on stage. Next, Celebration Day. So they ran the gamut of the threesome of songs that are connected together.
Yep.
Okay.
Side one.
Yep. So then they break away from Zep 3. They go back to Into the Outdoor for Hot Dog, a song that's kind of denigrated, but a song that I like. It's a little more of a kind of bluesy country type song, and it's definitely a little less Page influence. It's more Plant and Jones in that.
Yep. I always like that song. I don't know why
Yeah.
people hate it, but I think it's a
Well,
it's a cool tune.
to each his own.
Yep.
Hey, I like it a hell of a lot better than Dire Maker. Let's put it that way. I'm
I
not
agree with
not a
that.
fan of that song. That or the Crunch. Okay, so after Hot Dog, Fool in the Rain, probably their biggest hit from the album. Okay, so then we, so this is so you mentioned side four of Physical Graffiti. Here's a song that supposedly, and I never knew this, I thought they wrote it, but it was actually Richie Valens who wrote it, Boogie with Stu. And they got sued for this song. I mean, I love the song, I love their version, but truth of the matter, when I saw the movie La Bamba, I was shocked. I almost hit the floor when I heard him playing it. I never realized that. And then what happened? His estate, I think his mother sued Led Zeppelin, so they had to give royalties, and they had to give, uh, you know, Richie Valens partial credit for the song.
I think the songwriting credit on it is the guys from Zeppelin and Mrs. Valens is how
Yes,
it's.
that yes, well, right, because she's the one who probably that's the estate of Richie Valens who
Yep.
sued them. Uh, we wouldn't. That wouldn't be the last we heard of that. There's another group that was suing Zeppelin for "Stairway to Heaven." I forget what their name is, but
Spirit.
Spirit. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. So okay, so onward and upward. Uh, Gallows Pole, another great tune. Little bit more of a folk tune for Zeppelin at that
Oh
time.
yeah.
Going to California, a song that we talked about that I saw Hart play on stage, which was very cool. Bronway Stomp, that's
Oh, that's a
on
deep
Zeppelin.
track.
Yes, yes, great tune. Funny story about Bronway Stomp. So now my son plays guitar, and he's played ever since he was 6 or 7 years old because I used to get lessons to the house, and it inspired him to start playing. So I got him lessons, and he must have been 11 or 12, and he's sitting on his bed with his acoustic guitar, trying to come up with ideas for what do they call them, chord progressions to try and write some songs. And he basically came up with the same chord progression for Bon Voyage Stomp. And I got up from my chair, I had to go in, and I said to him, Google this song. I said, put the guitar down and Google this song. And he did. He's like, oh, I see what you mean. I'm like, it's a great idea, but I don't want you getting sued for plagiarism. So, but I mean, note for note, da, 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 is what he was playing. So, but I love the song. Okay, so next, uh, so this would be song number 12 of the second set, Achilles' Last Stand, 10 minutes. That's my
The
longest
epic.
song.
Yep.
Number, so then the next song, Kashmir, Physical Graffiti. We're starting to wind it up. The next, Lemon Song, Led Zeppelin 2.
Nice.
Okay, four more to go. Black Dog, 10 Years Gone, The Ocean, and of course they closed the set with Stairway to Heaven. So they played very long sets both nights, so no encores, just, you know what, they basically, Plant told the crowd, we're just going to go through till the end, so just sit back and enjoy. So,
How long is each of your sets?
well, on paper, the first set is 96 minutes. The second set is 92 minutes. That's the songs themselves. But then, of course, you have filler and applause in between, and a couple times where Plant speaks to the crowd. He doesn't speak that much, but he does a little bit. So I would say you add about maybe 10 extra minutes to, yeah. So we'll say an hour 45, and then an hour 40 for the second set. So
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing, and there you have it. So I hope mine didn't run too long.
No, it was cool. It's a lot of songs, but
Oh yeah,
Led Zeppelin
but
have so many excellent songs.
so again, the premise was to redo. Song remains the same with a better concert experience at the theater. So
And the shorter versions of the songs.
right, yes, yeah, no 29 minutes with playing the electric guitar with a string bow.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
violin bow.
yep. But so that's Led Zeppelin in a nutshell. So now you said that you had never seen them. I never saw them either. Regrettably. Now, I would have liked to try to go see them during In Through the Outdoor, and a friend of mine. Uh, so they started in Europe. And a friend of mine's cousin who lived in Switzerland did see them, and then sadly afterwards, you know, Bonham passed away. But there are two well, I don't know if cover band is the right term. What's a good respectable term for a band that plays Led Zeppelin?
Tribute band.
Tribute band, yeah. Tribute band sounds better than cover band. So now I've seen two tribute bands at the Paramount in Huntington, New York. The first one is Get the Lead Out. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I've heard of them. I've never seen them.
If they come back, we should go. It was freaking phenomenal. Now
Okay.
the only slight negative is the fact that there isn't just four musicians. There's about six or seven to cover the extra rhythms and keyboards and whatnot. But you know what? They sounded. You could close your eyes and think you're actually seeing Led Zeppelin. And at the time, I said that that is the closest I am going to ever get to seeing the real Led Zeppelin. And you want to know
All right.
something? It was a great crowd that night, and you know what? They were freaking phenomenal. And my brother actually saw them down in Charlotte, North Carolina, so they do get around. I've
Play
seen they
all over.
played in D.C., yeah, all up and down the East Coast. But then I saw a second tribute band called Led Zeppelin 2. Now this band was a little. I admire them because it was only four musicians, so they didn't have the extra musicians on stage, and the one guy had the Jimmy Page look-alike onesie that he was wearing with the
With the
snake.
dragon pants.
Yes, looked really cool. And then of course there was the singer who. I don't know if he was wearing a wig, but he kind of looked like Robert Plant and reminded of him. But they were awesome also. So I wouldn't rank between one or two, but I would say if one of those bands comes back, we should go check them out.
Okay. And there's also a female tribute band out there, Les
Yes,
Zeppelin.
I've heard that. Yeah, like the Iron Maidens and Judas
Precisely.
Priestess. Yeah, yeah. But that's yeah. So highly recommended for anybody out there. Check out Get the Lead Out or Led Zeppelin 2 or Les Zeppelin. I don't know what they sound like, but I'm sure they're pretty good.
I actually have they put out a CD a while back. I have it. It's pretty good.
Oh, really? Nice. Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
And when you said you saw this band called Led Zeppelin 2, that's
Yes.
TOO, I would assume, right?
No, the number two.
The number two. Okay.
The number two. Yeah. Yes.
Interesting.
It was interesting. Yeah. And I think their logo was similar to what I have as my backdrop right now. So, but yeah, check them out if you can. But so, Davey, what do you have going on your channel right now?
I am
Anything?
working on a Blue Oyster Cult album ranking that hopefully I'll
Nice.
have up in a week or so. It's just a
Okay.
lot of music to listen to and make sure my order's right. So
Okay.
that's my
Cool.
next album ranking will be
See,
Blue Oyster Cult.
very nice. I wish I could help you, but I really don't know Blue Oyster Cult as I do some of these other bands that I've put here on the Dream set list. But
Yep. Well, we are still going to get together to do Shadow Gallery
yes,
eventually
we
on my
do.
channel.
Yes. Unfortunately, I've had to kind of put it aside, but yeah, no, definitely. They are
Yeah,
a
we could
great
do it in the
group.
summer. There's no
Yeah,
rush.
okay, sure. Awesome. Uh, Other things going on. So I'm going to be on oh, what's that show again? My
My Music Corner,
my
John's
music
channel.
corner. Yes, with John Clauser and John the Music Nut. That's going to air tomorrow night as we talk about the Judas Priest album, Redeemer of Souls. Oh
The
no,
one where Rob comes
no,
back,
no, not
Halford's back.
Redeemer of Souls. Shit.
Oh,
Um,
Angel of Retribution.
Angel of Retribution. That's it. Thank you so much. Yeah. I
And
wouldn't
that's
want
where
to be.
Halford comes back.
Yes, yes, it is. Yep. I have some good stories to share and yada, yada, yada. And I actually found out the other night, right after Davey did, that Davey's been invited to be on the Year of the Priest also. So that's going to be cool. Check that out. I never knew Davey to be such a big Priest fan, but I guess I was wrong. Yeah.
I've liked them since the early 80s.
All right. Okay, so after we go off the air, I'm going to talk to Davey about another little project I have going on. So stay tuned for that. But the Dream set lists are going to continue at least for the next month, once a week. Uh, a couple other little projects I have going on. My top three metal of 2018 I'm working on. So I'm going to try and get that out for everybody, hopefully this weekend or maybe a little sooner, but we'll see. So uh, I'll say good night now. Speaking for Davey Cretin, thank you for watching. If you like what I do, please subscribe, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a good night, all.
Thanks. Good night.
Bye.